Okay, welcome everyone to the Daniel S. Loeb Torah Center. First of all, a big happy birthday to our dear friend, Nathan Lowe Halevi, who gave me such a beautiful bracha. It went on for so long, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And God willing, Hashem will listen to all your words. And all the bracha you give today should be mukuyam, should find themselves in actuality. Okay, dear friends, so much to say. My mind during tefillah today was all over the place because there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on, I tell you that right now. Toldot. My head was in the dishwasher. But not the Tamif Gum. No, not the Tamif Gum in this head, Baruch Hashem. I did the halachat of a dishwasher and meat and milk. That's why that comment came. Okay, dear friends. Let's talk about it. I want to go back and read a unbelievable Bal HaTurim from last week's parasha. Why are we going back to last week's parasha? Because we have a concept that comes many, many times in the Torah. Actually, it occurs all the time, but the rabbis sometimes will double click to try to figure out what is going on. And the concept is called samuch, smichut. When two things are put next to each other in the Torah, they are connected. We don't always know or understand the connection, but they're always there. And many times Rashi will jump up and be like, oh, I know why this episode is put next to that episode, because these, although they're completely different, may have happened in two completely different times. But if they're put next to each other, they are connected. I always think of it as like a blueprint of a home. A blueprint. And in the blueprint, you may see a sink and you may see a faucet. In reality, they're two very different objects. But when you understand what a faucet does and what a sink does, you see the connection between both of them. Right? The water must fall into the sink or you get a big mess. So too, the Torah puts things together. Torah puts it together so that you can see the two are connected. In this case, it is not Rashi who pulls these things together, it's the Bal HaTurim. And he says on the last pasuk of last week's parasha, and the pasuk says that Ashura al Penei Kol Achav Nafal, that his descendants, the descendants of Yishmael, this is the last pasuk of last week's parasha, Chayei Sarah, that he fell on all of his brothers. Kol Achav Nafal. He fell on all of his brothers. So the literal translation of it is that he dwelt. Yishmael and his descendants are going to dwell over a large part of the world. They're going to overtake many, many areas.
58 countries.
Many countries they're going to take over, 58. That is what the Bnei Ishmael are going to overtake, and they're going to make their residence over there, and they're going to have a control over those areas. That is what we're going to see, the Arab population at the end of days, says the Bal HaTurim. This week's parasha opens up, not coincidentally, with the words, Ve'ele toldot Yitzchak. These are the generations of Yitzchak. Says the Bal HaTurim, let me tell you why these two parasha put together. We jump from discussing Yishmael and his descendants to the descendants, toldot, the descendants, the generations of Yitzchak. Why are these two things put next to each other, he says, and he says, I'll tell you why. Because Ba'acharit Yamim. Acharit Yamim is an expression that actually Moshe Rabbeinu coined in the Torah and refers to the days before Mashiach's arrival. And he says, it's out of character for the Bal HaTurim, but it's a beautiful piece. And just a few words. He says at the end of days, there is going to be a seesaw effect. Right? When you were a kid, you played on the seesaw. What do they call it in America? Seesaw, yeah. Once it's over here, this is over here, this one goes down, this one goes up. There is going to be a seesaw effect between Toldot Yitzchak, the generations of Yitzchak, and Toldot Yishmael, the descendants of Yishmael. And when one is up, one is down. And one is down, one is up. We are contending with them right until Mashiach, actually right before Mashiach comes. And he says, when you see, look at the wording, he focuses on the wording over here. He sees V'yipol Yishmael, when you see Yishmael start to go down and their influence begin to wane, Yitzchak, then you're going to see the generations of Yitzchak start to lift up. and start to lift themselves higher and higher. That is what you're going to see. The two we are connected. We don't operate in isolation. We operate vis-a-vis other people, which means, and the parasha carries on, when you look at this piece, everything else